Hello once again and welcome to episode number 5 of Changing the 7 Areas of Your Life Over 7 Weeks in 7 Minutes. I'm your host Ernest Kikuma, and today we'll be discussing, or I'll talk to you about your career or a career. A career is supposedly to be a lifelong thing. So you were supposed to get a job and work for 40 or 45 years and then finish with a big check saying here is your retirement. It doesn't work anymore. The old model is broken. I'm in the personal development space. I'm in the personal empowerment or growth space of career. That's my passion. That's my career. So I'll speak to you about spirituality. I'll speak to you about business. I'll speak to you about you, because at the end of the day, nothing else matters if you're not the center of your life. For the most of us, we end up in a career or in a job or in a business that we didn't choose ourselves. What attracts you the most? What creates fire in you? The moment you start comparing yourself to another person, the moment you start thinking they are better off than you are, you lose your bearing. However, there are certain things that really attract us. And I believe that's where you need to make a decision. And you've got to ask yourself a number of questions. And one of the questions is, what have you grown to become really passionate about? What challenges, how have your challenges shaped your passion? How have the challenges you faced shaped your perception? What story are you telling yourself, and what state does that put you? There's 3 S's I would like you to pick from today. 3 S's. State, story, strategy. The state matters the most. The story you tell yourself has the power to affect, positively or negatively, has the power to affect your state. And then after that is a strategy, because the strategy always goes on to manifest the state. So this is your internal psychology, and it's affected by the environment and also by your internal environment. Let's talk about a few examples. Let's talk about people in the world today who are transforming, shaping, literally destroying the way we used to think about careers. Take Elon Musk, for example. So what is his career? Is he an inventor? Is he a father? He's a family man. Is he a CEO? He's a man who's looked within and used his strengths. What are your strengths? Coming 2019, when you're thinking about your career or next year, you want to ask yourself, what are my strengths this far over the past 5, 10, 15 years? What have I learned that I can harness and say, this is where I'm really strong at? And especially if you're thinking to get into business. However, if you're thinking about a business, what could I suggest? Robert Kiyosaki wrote a very powerful book, and it says The Business of the 21st Century. I recommend you get it. Okay, this is, if you were thinking about business, read this book among many others, and you realize that the most powerful business you can get involved in is a people business. A business that directly affects or changes people's states, that affects the way people tell their stories, and eventually give them strategies to cope with life. Okay. And personally, I'm involved in the personal development space. So my goal is to help you change your state by looking at the way you tell yourself a story, and then come up with strategies to help you stay at the optimum state of your thinking so you can get better results every single time. What if you're in a job and you're thinking, I'm stuck in this job that I hate, but I'm afraid to quit, or I'm afraid, to leave? If you have family, if you have other financial commitments, wisdom would tell me that don't quit unless you have an exit strategy. Where would you like to go to start with? Why would you want to go there? Because your why will tell you about your story. And then thirdly, we can explore the strategies. What strategies do you need to get yourself to that next level? So 3 things you need to ask yourself going on to the next year about your career is, number 1, I'm going to start from the list. Some people say, I don't know how. And the how is a strategy. So you have to think, okay, that's your strategy. But the next question, the more important question is the why. The why is your story. Why do I want to grow? Why do I want to XYZ? Why do I want to make more money? Why do you do what you do? That determines, if you ask yourself this question over and over again, what's your why? It will change your story. It will help you see the truth behind your story. And then finally, when you start clarifying your story to yourself, it starts shifting your state. So you go from doubt and uncertainty to clarity and absolute certainty and faith. So what can you do for 2019? Let me speak to you as an employee first. If you're an employee and you probably don't like your job as such, but you already have a place of employment, you've got to be willing to do what most people are not willing to do. And number one is equip yourself with knowledge. Invest in your self-awareness and feed your story to become more passionate to serve to the best of your capacity in the area where you're serving. And your customer at this point is your employer. Your employer is your number one customer. If you're an employer, on the other hand, what can you do to improve your productivity? There's a new way of thinking that you need to start incorporating in your business, in your employment section. I love Richard Branson's attitude towards business, towards service. He says, let your employees have a good time because they will look out for your customers. Because if you never realized, if you're an employer, your first person who serves you is your employee. So, and he's also your first customer. Your employee is your first customer. Your employee needs to believe in the service that they're offering. And if they can't believe that, how do you expect them to turn that around and offer better services to your eventual customer who pays you? So start looking within and ask yourself, what value are you bringing to those people that are working for you? How or what are you going to do to improve or to help them grow, to improve their state of certainty? Commit next year to bring more value to your first customer, which is your employee. Many people never look at it that way. Your first customer is your employee. That's right. Serve your customers. Serve them, because if you take care of them, they will take care of your customers. Now, so the 3 S's you need to get today, ask yourself why. Your why will determine your state. Out of that, create yourself a story. What story do you need to affirm your state? So what story do you need to affirm your state? If your story is out of victory and certainty, you will stay at a very confident level and you will be able to swim through uncertainty times. And finally, what strategies can you use, can you utilize to help you move on and crush the previous goals?